Here are types of waste. First, there is food waste. Next, there's plastic waste. After that is industrial waste, and then medical waste, agricultural waste, and construction waste. Also, e-waste. Here, you can see food waste and how much food is wasted each year. Here, you can see the effects of plastic waste. And over here, you can see agricultural waste and other types of waste being tossed. Also over here, you can see pollution, which is caused from industrial waste. So, what is e-waste? E-waste, also known as electronic waste, is discarded electrical or electronic devices. E-waste is electronic products that are unwanted, not working, and nearing or at the end of their useful life. Although they can be recycled, many people don't recycle them and instead throw them away. This can have many harmful effects on our planet. Here in this image, you can see the e-waste mountain. This is an area where lots of e-waste is dumped every year. Some sources of e-waste. Some sources of e-waste are large household appliances like refrigerators, freezers, washing machines, dishwashers, and televisions. Small household appliances, which include toasters, coffee makers, irons, dryers, hair dryers, and light bulbs. Information technology, also known as IT, and telecommunications equipment, like personal computers, telephones, mobile phones, laptops, printers, and more. Also, lighting equipment, such as fluorescent lamps, and electronic or electrical tools, like handheld drills, saws, screwdrivers, etc. Also, toys, leisure, and sports equipment are sources of e-waste, and monitoring and control instruments. Also, automatic dispensers. This pie chart shows us the amount of different parts of e-waste which come from using these appliances and discarding them. Now, let's look at the causes of e-waste. Some causes of e-waste are the advancement in technology, because every day we have new technology and software coming into our world. Due to this, many of our old devices don't support our new softwares, so many people discard them. So, also changes in lifestyle, changes in style, fashion, and status could affect this too. One example of this are AirPods, because people use headphones, but nowadays most people use AirPods. Also, sometimes electronics come to their end of the helpful life, and many times these devices stop working, and so we thrash them instead of fixing them. And not taking precautions while handling them. Many people don't take precautions while handling their devices. This leads to the devices breaking. This causes many of the devices to get thrashed. So now let's look at some of the harmful substances emitted from e-waste. So we have lead. Lead is poisonous and it can cause lead poisoning. We have barium, mercury. Mercury comes from light bulbs, beryllium, cadmium, arsenic, and brominated flame retardants, also known as BFRs. So this is a picture of mercury light bulbs which are dumped in landfills. And a fact is that these materials and substances can affect our kidneys, our nervous system, and can cause cancer and many more diseases when they get into our body. So here are the harmful effects of e-waste, and you can see that there are many effects of e-waste, and there are actually a few more too. So the pollution of soil. So many times when e-waste is dumped into landfills, it releases harmful chemicals into the soil. This may cause the soil to get polluted. Also, water runoff. These chemicals are sometimes washed into the water from landfills, and when the chemicals are released, they mix into the water, which we then drink. Also, the ecosystem gets affected largely because sometimes animals get trapped into e-waste or eat like the waste. This can have harmful effects to animals, and also it hurts our human body. So you can see that this diagram shows that first our electronics were discarded and taken to e-waste disposal. After that, it landed in a landfill, and there the chemicals and burning of the waste cause the chemicals to leach into the air, the water, and the soil. So this can have many effects, as we talked about, and it can have direct impact or indirect impact. So direct impact is like when you breathe in the air which has been polluted, and that also affects us. And or if you drink the water. And then it's indirect impact when heavy metals or chemicals transfer and contaminate our soil or water. So this affects the plants and vegetables that we eat or consume, and so that can harm us too. So you can see it's a cycle. And of course, it increases the size of landfills. Also, here you can see that many fish have died because of water poisoning. So that's one way ecosystems get affected. Now, let us look at the statistics. You can see in this diagram that the e-waste that we produce is increasing significantly every year. If we do not take action to stop this, it will increase very, very fast. And as you can see, it will grow to almost 2 million metric tons by 2025. So how do we recycle e-waste? One option is that you can take it to a recycler. Another option is that you donate it. So places you can donate it is like Goodwill, or there are many other places where you can donate it, and you can also have it fixed. And you can have it fixed at many places like the Geek Squad. You can resell it like at Facebook Marketplace, and you can reuse the working parts, which we will explore on the next slide. So here you can see that here there is an image of places where you can recycle e-waste nearby, and you can also recycle at our school at the front door, and this is very easy for us. So, did you know that 17 states have banned electronic waste from going into landfills? One of those states is Pennsylvania. Now let's explore how to recycle non-working electronics. So often when electronics stops working, the whole machine stops working. But some of the parts still work. Often only one part stops working and not the whole thing. Many people remove the part or parts that don't work and replace them by the parts that do work. Or they might just reuse the parts that still work in another device. So let's explain the cycle of how e-waste is recycled. So first it is collected and transported. So this is the first stage of our recycling process. Next it is shredded and sorted. So after collecting and transporting, the next step is to shred and sort the e-waste. Next we do some dust extraction, so any dust in the waste they remove, and then magnetic separation, so any metals they separate, and then water separation. If there's any moisture or water that gets into these devices, it's very hard to recycle, so they have to separate the water. Now, let's look at some of the many benefits of recycling e-waste. First, it protects the environment. So, that is very important because we are already having things like global warming, and when we burn e-waste, it adds on to that. And recycling e-waste can keep a range of harmful materials out of the environment. It also reduces business costs. So when companies recycle e-waste and you buy recycled material, it's less expensive. Also, it supports non-renewable recycling. The growing demand for electronic devices and appliances means a range of metals and other non-renewable resources need to be mined and processed. It helps contain landfills so they don't pile up too high. And guess what? It's super easy to recycle e-waste. So, thank you for listening.